Need a little more energy because it's been a long day. We know
Yeah,
so.
yeah. All right, so everybody's good. We'll sit back down.
Yeah.
How's that? All right, so I'm Sean, Event Team Entertainment, and DJ and do some photo booth and lighting.
And I'm Matt with Stumptown DJs. We are DJs for weddings, parties, you name it. We've been around for 11 years.
Nice, and I'm 14 years.
Yeah, so we're old farts in this business.
Yes,
That's
yes.
Right.
So, quick show of hands, how many here are going to book some kind of entertainment for their wedding? DJ, band, etc. Nice.
Good.
How many have already booked? Okay, just a couple. Okay. So we're going to try to educate you a little bit.
How about DJ? How many of you are looking for DJs? Okay, that's good. All right.
And band? Anybody? Band? Nice.
One,
Fantastic
two
band
bands, two
supporting
bands.
us. All right.
How about DIY? Just gonna do the old iPod or something like that.
Anybody? You can. It's totally good.
Yeah, it's okay.
We're gonna chat about it.
Offended.
Yeah. No, not at all.
All right, that's good. And then what about did we do the?
Oh, booked. Yeah. How many? We've talked about that. Who is booked under contract with their entertainment provider, band or DJ or whatnot? Nice. Okay, good. So we have some good information to share.
Okay, yeah. So we're here to discuss 3 different entertainment options: DIY, bands, and DJs. Doesn't look like we have to focus on DIY too much, but let's go into it anyway. So just real quick, the main pro of DIY is to save money. You can use your friends or family member, and it makes it cheap. But reality, it does cost a lot more than most people think. Usually to rent gear, it's like $400 to $700. Then you got, and you're not just renting a sound system, usually you're renting microphones like these, and they're not usually too cheap. Then you got the cost of music, because you can't always rely on Wi-Fi, especially with these days when there's an open Wi-Fi source at the venue. Everyone loves to log in and attach their phone to it so they can get a faster speed. So it slows down the internet. And then an MC is another thing to think about. If you have a professional DJ, they're going to MC for you versus your friend or family member is just going to, if they know how to make announcements or even use the microphone, will do their best. But they don't know how to project their voice, they don't necessarily know how to speak clearly on the mic, and they don't know how to gather people's attention. So, go ahead, Sean.
Nice. So, moving the gear too. Who's going to move the gear? Are you gonna task that to a family member?
That's right. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. Finish up that
and
last little bit.
then using their gear properly. That's actually something I ran into doing a ceremony years ago. I actually wasn't supposed to DJ the ceremony, but I was just setting up for the reception, and the couple's friend who was running the sound system didn't even know how to set up or plug in the gear, so they couldn't even start the ceremony in time until they figured it out. So I just said, forget it. I'll just go and fix it and make sure it happens. But that's something to think about too. A lot of people don't even know how the different plugs and cords work.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk a little bit about bands, the pros and the reality. So a band brings incredible energy. Those of you that have witnessed a band, DJ, it's hard to compete with an 8-piece band. I encountered this last night, and I had a live band from Seattle called Side 1, 8 pieces, 2 horns, 2 guitars, 2 live singers, a keyboard, and a drummer. And
charge a sound for them too?
No, I was not charged a sound for them. They had a sound guy, but we can't compete with that energy. We're a single guy standing behind a mixer, controller, and running the show. So you can't beat that energy. But the reality is, do they provide a qualified MC? Typically not. There's a lead singer, but that person usually wants to take a break with the band, and so then you're left with nobody there to keep talking.
Yeah, and then also too for breaks and whatnot throughout the events. A lot of times bands need a break, whereas a DJ rarely takes a break with the exception of a quick bathroom stop. And even if that's the case, they usually start a song that's longer. We have our own little mixes for that. So
yeah, and with bands you sometimes can lose you can lose momentum with those band breaks too, and we want to try to avoid that dip in the momentum and give people a chance to leave. Also, does the band provide ceremony AV? Some do, some don't, so you're going to want to make sure. A lot of DJs are pretty adept at handling that ceremony AV, the microphones, the music, and also anything that you need there. And then they're going to provide whatever equipment you need and make sure that it's all properly amplified for the space that you're going to be working. So we'll keep it rolling here, Matt, and we'll jump into the next page and have you take over at the top.
All right, so professional DJ is what we're also going to talk about here. So what does professional look like? Not just aesthetically, but what they're bringing to the table is what we want to talk about.
So we're going to run through 7 key terms. Personalization.
creative involvement,
event direction,
MC and or talented spokesperson,
some music programming,
appropriate presentation,
and quality amplification. So we'll jump back to the top here and talk about personalization. So anniversary dances, voiceovers for special dance like first dance or parent dances, grand entrance, and other ideas. I think a good DJ is adept and equipped at offering ideas to really bring some personal elements to your wedding, and I think that's very helpful.
Creative involvement, so that could be games, that could be maybe you have some kind of theme you're doing in your ceremony that you're trying to, maybe like we DJ'd a wedding that was, were huge NFL fans and they want to incorporate that in their wedding. So something we helped them figure out, as well as there could be trivia. There's a dance called the anniversary dance to recognize the oldest married couple. And there's also something that Sean's more familiar with is Mad Libs. It's kind of a fun little game that some people do.
Yep, absolutely. All those are great ideas. Event direction, let's talk about that. So generally speaking, for Matt and I, about 50 to 60% of our clients don't necessarily have a day of or full service coordinator, which we'd like them to, but they just don't choose not to have it, and they're doing it without. So who's going to run the show at that point?
Usually this guy, or that guy, or that lady, whoever, you know? So usually the DJ has been in charge of that now. It's just kind of become our job, and if we don't handle that well, it ends up looking bad on us.
Yeah, we prefer you to hire a professional coordinator, you know, either day of or
definitely
full
preferable.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing is MC/talented spokesperson. So you want someone who's going to be able to, is comfortable on the mic, it's not constantly nervous. There's sometimes people will appoint a friend or family member, you know, to do it, and that person sometimes is drank too much. You don't even want them on the mic later on. You're not gonna have that problem with a DJ, as well as they understand how the mic works and they can project their voice versus talking like this and you can't even hear me. So they hold the mic close to their mouth. Something simple as that, but can make or break an event. People are like, what? What did they say?
Or it's hip hop style.
Yeah,
Hip-hop is
that's
up
right.
here talking the whole time.
No one drops the mic though. That's the
Yeah.
one DJ thing we don't do.
Yeah. So music programming, this is an important element, I think. Reading the crowd, having quality MP3s that you're playing from, selecting the right song at the right moment. That's really why you're hiring a DJ, somebody that's there. We all have iPods and iPhones and devices that can play music back. There's even things like Spotify that can do it quite well for you, but you want somebody there that at any moment can turn on a dime, shift the playlist, and react to the crowd that's happening in front of them.
Oh, that's definitely key, because
Like that? See, like that?
Exactly. He felt an energy drop. You gotta turn it up.
Yeah.
Good job, Jesse. Alright, another thing is appropriate presentation. So, you know, a nice, neat, and current updated website. I like to say that our websites now are our storefronts. So if you saw some shack on the side of the road, are you gonna buy your food there? You know, the same thing is, are you gonna go get your DJ from a website that looks from 2001? You know, you kind of want something that's up to date and current, because you might get a good feel of that's what your service is going to be like. Maybe they're playing all old music that none of your guests are into. You know, maybe they're not current on the different traditions and styles and things going on. The other thing to think about is their DJ and their gear. So is the DJ going to dress appropriately towards your wedding? You know, are they also, how old is their DJ equipment? A lot of times people don't think about that. You know, the company will bring all their gear, but it's all from like 1992, and it's got that big carpet thing. Looks like it should be kickers in the back seat of your trunk or whatnot of your car. So, and then also how well is their equipment maintained? A professional is going to keep an eye on that, because if your mic doesn't work beforehand, you know, it's going to make your business look bad. But someone who's your backyard barbecue DJing a wedding, and they not have even used a mic since last summer.
Yeah, all the way through the appropriate presentation, from the look of their business to the look of themselves, the gear and everything. It's all good. And finally, quality amplification. I think there are different sized audiences. We have 50 here, and we're using a sound system that's appropriate to manage this space. And if you go larger to 200, you want to know that your DJ is going to roll out additional equipment to support that space. If you're outdoor, the sound will go away more, so you need to account for that. If you're indoors, the sound's contained. So we're planning for all those contingencies and making sure that you're covered at your day, whether that's outdoors or indoors, and planning for all that in the amplification.
True. And it seems like we're moving smoothly here. So we have this handout that we all gave to you as well. So this is Sean and I created this together, and I think this would be a really great blog post sometime. But these are top 10 questions we created that you should really ask a wedding DJ, because there's so many times people come and ask us the same questions over and over, and a lot of times they're not really applicable, and/or will the customer really understand how they should be answered. So we'll go through them one by one real quick, right? So since I'm already talking, so how many weddings did you DJ last year? That's something you definitely should ask, because if you ask a DJ how many weddings did we DJ, they could say 100. But did they DJ any last year? Probably not. Maybe the year before, maybe not. Maybe their heyday was about 5-6 years ago when they just advertised on Thumbtack or Craigslist. So it's something to think about. So I'd say if you DJ'd at least 20 weddings last year is a good amount. You could fairly say that they have some experience under their belt and they should do a pretty decent job.
Absolutely. So what happens if nobody's dancing? And this doesn't happen at Matt and I's weddings.
No.
Yeah, that's not something that happens for us. But what happens if nobody's dancing? We got to shift gears. We need to change things up. We might need to throw a cha-cha slider and keep it shuffle in the mix. We might need to just change genres from Motown to top 40. So we're paying attention to your guests. We're seeing if they're tapping their toes. We're seeing if they're lulling off to sleep. Whatever's happening, we're paying attention to, and we're going to shift gears so that hopefully that's not
And reading the crowd is definitely key with that too. So when you got to pay attention to what's going on. Sometimes you notice there's a certain crowd that's only dancing to one genre, and another part of the crowd's dancing to another. So you sometimes got to come up with something that brings them both in. All right. So how comfortable are you on the microphone? So their answer should be that they have no problem using the mic. Making announcements is no big deal to them. And that, because most weddings you have to be comfortable on the mic. Just even right now, I have to be comfortable sitting up here talking to you.
Yeah, they're not going to be as awkward as Matt is here.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a little red in the face and I feel a little fussed. That could have been the drink though, so.
And how are we going to keep track of everything? Most of us are using some kind of online planner. Our couples are online, so we can either do a paper version if you're more comfortable with that, but online is pretty easy for us.
Definitely. Some like questionnaire or timeline, something to plan out the DJ's job for the night. Things that you're expecting from them, like your first dance, cocktail hour music, ceremony, seating music, dinner and dancing, all sorts of songs that are key. We want to have that listed ahead of time. You don't want your DJ asking that on the day of. Another one is what year is most of your equipment from? So that sounds weird, but there's a lot of times people will ask, well, what type of equipment do you have, or what brand?
Speakers.
Yeah, what kind of speakers?
Lights.
Yeah. It doesn't really mean anything to most people. If we were to answer it, unless you're a huge, audiophile, you're not going to necessarily know how, what's good and what's not. But I would say if your gear is 5 years old or less, it means you're constantly upgrading or updating and keeping an eye on your equipment. If some DJ said, hey, I have some stuff from 99, well, you might question, what is it that they have that's from 99? Maybe it's a table they set up on, sure, fine. But for speakers, I don't know, if you DJ enough, you're gonna blow out some speakers over time.
Yeah, that equipment wears down. It
Yes,
does.
definitely does.
We're featuring these new Electro Voice Evolve 50s, and these speakers just launched last year, and so you have to reinvest the money that you're earning from you guys booking us into those. So, how do you qualify a DJ? And there's a lot of different ways. We've touched on a few. One thing that you can ask is, are they insured? Are they covered with general liability? And I would say a minimum of $2 million is pretty much the standard. And I think Dwayne will even touch on this in a minute. We're seeing $5 million. Are you seeing $5 million? We're seeing $5 million now requested for general liability. So $2 million is necessary. If they have general liability and $2 million, it's super important. It protects you and them and everybody.
And the funny thing is it's actually not outrageous to buy that insurance either. If you're a bigger show, you have more DJs, then it may cost more. But for these DJs, can't give you any kind of excuse that it's not necessarily affordable, because it is. Are you willing to play requests? The answer definitely should be yes. Now, whether you want requests at your wedding, that's entirely up to you. But the thing is it's definitely a way to give a good pulse on what the audience is wanting, what your guests are having fun with. And sometimes there's a surprise song that everyone's going to dance to, but the DJ doesn't know that. It's your college jam or whatnot.
Absolutely. The next one we'll just touch on briefly. Can you assist with the direction? Most DJs should and should be able to help orchestrate the entertainment elements of the evening. You can simply ask, can you help direct the evening, and they should be able to answer that pretty easily for you.
Totally. It's just something it happens, and we got to be able to handle. need be.
Yeah, and what do we wear? This we're just showing diverse intentionally so.
Yes.
Like, this isn't what we wear. We don't wear jeans and a shirt.
Although if you said that's what you wanted us to wear,
Yes.
we would.
Yeah. So we might wear something similar to this. We might lose the sport coat if it's more casual. We might throw on like a, we might throw on like a. I had a Patriots jersey on for a couple that was a big Patriots fan at their wedding because that's what they wanted. So we'll take your advice on what we should wear.
Totally. Yeah, I think you should be very flexible on that too. And then also, let's see. So, have you been trained to DJ weddings, and what do you do for ongoing education and training? So, not too many people can say they have, but if you work for a bigger outfit like Sean or myself, we train a lot of our DJs. They don't usually just come in and they know everything because there's a system that we've created, and there's a reason why it's successful is because the system we created is pretty efficient and works pretty well with all of our DJs and our guests. But things you should also consider, maybe they're a one-man shop and they just learn on their own, but maybe they need to do some, they gotta think about various educational opportunities out there, like, online forums or conventions or some, just to upgrade, keep an eye on technology as well as cultural traditions. And or like, maybe some new technology is coming out with DJing gear, not still using CD DJs.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, things are constantly changing. Most of you have an occupation that you're in, a job that you're in. It requires ongoing education. If anybody is doing good work, they should be having some kind of ongoing education each and every year, in my opinion. So that does wrap it up for us, Matt and myself here as the DJs. We're of course available in the room to have a conversation with.
How about Q&A?
Q&A, yeah, let's lob it up there. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yes, right hand where.
Special considerations for outdoor weddings, like you guys had mentioned the decibel level at one point, but is there special equipment or space requirements that you guys need?
Certain venues are gonna have decibel levels that they require. Like I'll just give a for example in McMinnville. When you work in those spaces, you might see like an 80 max. I think we're seeing at some venues. We can live with something in the 80s. If you're seeing something in the 70s, that should give you some pause and some concern.
Yeah,
we can't provide a conversational restaurant is 75 decibels of sound if it's has heavy conversation.
And if your venue brings it up fairly early in your conversation, that also might be a concern in my opinion. Because there's a couple venues that I definitely know the minute our clients talked about that venue, they brought it up. So I'm going to throw a little marketing pitch out there too. It's something I've been excited about. It's a product called Silent Disco. So it's a nice item to add onto your wedding. If you're in an area where sound amplification is an issue after a certain time, but you can say have the venue till midnight. We rent out these Silent Disco headphones, and it's a wireless transmission of music through that. And it's kind of a fun novelty, but also has the function side, so you can keep your party going to midnight instead of having to close down at 10.
And the neat thing about those is you have 3 different transmission signals. So somebody could be 70s, somebody could be top 40. So you can mix it up if you have
can
one.
do that, but you have to pay for each of
You got to pay for the DJs, yes, to do so. Other questions?
Channel.
Yeah. Yes, right here.
We are thinking about mixing a DJ and a band.
Nice.
How would you do that as a DJ? Like, what is the best flow?
Absolutely. I think your DJ is your MC. Your DJ fills all those band breaks. And a good DJ, I'm going to be hanging tight while the band's playing, and then I'm going to be on that drummer's beat. And as he wraps up, I'm mixing right into that next track. And I keep a seamless mix. So when the band slips away, we don't make a big deal like, hey, the band's leaving. We just let them fade off the stage. We keep mixing the music so we keep the dancers on the dance floor.
And I've seen the times that we've done it, a lot of times we're the last ones to go at the end of the night because the band a lot of times exhausted by near the end of the night, so a lot of times they'll end up and we'll end up going for another hour.
I think 45 and 20 is a good mix. 45 minutes of band and 20 of DJ gives them a rest and allows them to take the break they need, gives the DJ time to fill and go 45-20, 45-20 works really well with the band and the DJ. Yes.
So I've been to a couple weddings since being engaged, and they're really music buffs, and they play the entire music for the entire time.
Yep.
So for someone, I'm not a music buff, so do you have any, should I pick more songs, or should I leave them in the hands of the DJ?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I don't want to make it all pitchy, so I won't go into that. But I would say as a DJ, you should inquire more about the music that you like. Maybe some other weddings you've been to and some of the music you heard there. We can go through that. As well as you know, we know that most of our clients are either from one element like yourself who doesn't know as much about music, and then there's another that wants to pick out every track. And we can meet you in somewhere in between, but we definitely can help you plan that out. So, and it's usually done with an in-person consultation.
Yeah, and we will take additional questions off to the side. We're going to slide our friend Dwayne in here to get started with lighting because we want to get to that